Hey, in this video I want to talk about a very real future threat that we're all going to face. And when I say we, I mean everyone in society. This is extremely concerning and also, for some reasons, exciting for technology. But mostly concerning from a cybersecurity perspective. And this is why I thought of bringing this theme over to you today. So let's dive into deepfakes and the latest advancement on this trend of technology, or technologies that power such a trend. This is a research from China, right fresh off the oven, released a week ago. Let's have a look at deepfakes and the future state in a few months. So of course, by now you know what deepfake is. Replacing someone's image or voice, or of course, even video through artificial intelligence or machine learning algorithms. There's a range of options there for people that want to try it out today. There are some that are local, open source, some that are just leveraging your data by making you sign up for a service. Now, what you see on screen right here, of course, is just some examples of what deepfake can help people achieve, either moving a very famous person's photo or portrait, or just animating a particular person and putting a face swap onto someone, of course. Now, this brings a whole raft of challenges from a cybersecurity and societal perspective. This year, this blog here, or this article from security.org actually talks a little bit about how deepfakes are used. So they are utilized a lot, or can be utilized for cyber influence. Over the last few years, we have seen the rise on social media and the sway of people's opinions through means of algorithmic exposure to content. Increase that content to something that aligns to what they say, seeing the face of someone that they like, for example, that can increase the potential for opinion sway. Cyber influence operations and deepfake go along well, unfortunately. But the thing here is this paper from security.org just talks a little bit about the security concerns of deepfakes, right? So disinformation campaigns, election interference, blackmailing, so someone assuming to be someone from your family asking for money, for example, or making a sexual video of someone using deepfakes and asking for money not to disclose it. We never know what can be done. Bullying, harassment, non-consensual pornography as well, all kinds of things. There are multiple kinds of unfortunate reports along those lines already with current technologies. Some of these reports are coming from major technology providers such as OpenAI. So just on my last video, I talked about how OpenAI is helping disrupt some of these methodologies and attempts to utilize AI for cyber influence. Now, OpenAI itself doesn't have a technology that helps build deepfakes. At least not yet, they don't have that, but at least they have put out a report on how their technology is apparently being attempted to be utilized and exploited for cyber influence operations. So this is top of mind for major providers as well, although however what tools they're employing and what means they're employing to curb these sort of attacks, it's still questionable, I would say. Now, looking at the actual facts to society so far, just over the last 7 years, right, since 2018. So deepfake can go way back, of course, but 2018 there was a big thing about Obama, BuzzFeed video being released. This image right here is from a report by the Department of Homeland Security in the US, and it just showcases some of major cyber influence operations that happened in the US, political deepfakes that attempted to, or mostly political, but some famous people as well, just use cases of deepfake, and that reached public media, right? So that's the thing of deepfakes. It can reach everyone. Everyone can be victim, but also receive it and attempted to be swayed by whatever message is being shared through that media, right? So the Department of Homeland Security calls it synthetic media, which is exactly what it is, right? So you're creating a fake media out of something. And so this is extremely concerning from a cybersecurity perspective. How do you authenticate the veracity of an image or, of course, a video, most importantly, even audio, right? There are multiple use cases on authentication and identity being utilized for either logging into banks or logging into government information databases. So they require you to use your face or your voice or, of course, fingerprints in some cases. But then we're talking about how to fake your video and your audio. And when we get to that point where technology has evolved so much into that it can not be distinguished between real and what's fake, then we get to very damaging potential consequences from a cybersecurity and digital perspective, but also from personal safety standpoint, because it starts getting into someone's either finances or someone's real identity. And that's the concern that I'm bringing here to you, right? So how do you deal with all that? Or how do we curb some of these concerns and issues? So I don't have the answer yet. Unfortunately, the industry doesn't have. The technology moves at a very fast pace. It's always like that. Technology evolves way quicker than security does, unfortunately. So security is always catching up with what's going on. Now, the problem here is that there are open source research that is already available for everyone. This here is a repository on GitHub. It's been publicly archived, as you can see, but as of today, February 2025, but it's still, you can still leverage some of that code to utilize motion face swap. So you can essentially use your own camera feed like I'm doing right now and replace my face with someone else. Now, I haven't installed or used that code. I don't trust it that way. But then allegedly anyone can use it with very low system requirements, apparently. So it's quite damaging and quite broadly accessible by everyone. Now, what's been released last week is a new piece of paper, a new research called Omnihuman-1. So this is a piece of paper released by Chinese researchers, or more specifically from ByteDance, the maker of TikTok, of course. And so it's quite a novel research in terms of the quality of work that they're putting out there. So these here are a few examples. You probably have seen some of them in your feed already. Now, with only one image, you can generate very impressive results, such as this one here, the kid talking. You can also provide audio, and it will also output audio for you. Extremely interesting
what would art be like
extremely
without
veritable.
emotions?
Now, see if I can
it would be empty.
do it like that.
What would our lives be like
you can
without
see,
emotions? They
I would
be
believe
empty
that's real.
of values.
That's a real footage.
So a famous classical poet
that
said,
was created
"We
by
hate
AI.
and we love."
So extremely
Can one
concerning
tell
from
me
that
why?
perspective, and created with
Catulous.
very minimal data as well.
Science
so how do
does
you
not answer
control
why.
this? How do we, as an industry, as a cybersecurity community, can curb all these concerns? This is a challenge that's going to last years, right? It's going to be a big challenge in our community. I'm sure of that. Much like we are still trying to figure out how to authenticate properly without people spoofing your identity, right? So passwords are still a thing that we're still using this day. Passkeys are still evolving, but they're not the one be-all, one-all answer. And now we cannot even rely on people's video or voice for authentication once this paper and this research becomes pervasive, which I believe it'll be a matter of a few months. So then start thinking about how do we put some level of trust into the media we see. Well, there needs to be a lot more control for when you're uploading data, and who would control that when people or companies make profit out of the data that you make and that you put out. There's no interest in anyone blocking out new content of being created or put out there. Especially with AI needing more data in order to advance. They want even more data, right? More videos, more audio, more everything that we can create and we can put out there alongside with everything that their models are already generating. It's a very concerning topic and something that it's not going to have an easy answer to it. So expect the industry to start developing technologies, or new startups start to being created with this particular topic in mind, right? So content veracity, content truthfulness, content origin, but also content validation, so that government entities, official bodies can also rely on that kind of technology so that they can identify people. That's going to be a big concern and a big thing for cybersecurity and the industry as a whole. So if I were investing money in future startups, I would be looking at that for sure. I'm sure you will be too, right? So what are your thoughts on some of this? When can we get our hands into Omnihuman? I hope not soon. All right, with that said, leave your thoughts below. I want to know what you think about deepfakes and what it could mean for everyone. Or have you seen something concerning around deepfakes or been a victim of something? I'd be interesting to understand how people are interacting with this kind of media. Otherwise, leave a like if you think this is useful, dislike if not, and subscribe for more. All right, see you around.